So good afternoon, Glen Phillips. Thank you so much. We're really thrilled you're doing this session. Do you have any idea? We're 2 weeks out as we speak. Any idea what you're going to be recording yet?
I'm getting close. I was actually finishing one of two possible songs that I was gonna send ahead. So looking at one that's a little more folk, just to kind of take advantage of like I figured it would be good to have kind of that rolling snare drum, you know, soft but rolling, and take use of the pedal steel on that. And then another that's maybe slightly more R&B, just different take on the drums and different take on space. So kind of covers some ground and have some fun.
That sounds great. Have you worked with Alan before, or is this the first time around?
Yeah, and it was fun to see how he went about it, what he pulled out. Yeah, already great to get to look. I mean, I'm gonna have to force myself to concentrate on the music instead of watching too much what's going on the other side.
Well, we'll video some stuff so you can look at it. Yeah, but what recording have you been doing recently? I mean, have you got a new record, reasonably recently out there? Or
yeah, well, preparing to do some new Toad recording coming up, and I'm depending on how you count it, somewhere around 3/4 done with a new record of my own. Been doing things in kind of pieces and fits and starts and putting it together. So hopefully getting a little closer to the end of my record.
how do you see, obviously, the kind of nature of why one makes records has somewhat shifted in terms of one's expectation of making any money out of recording these days? How do you view that? I mean, are you making records just because you want to, and the economics are irrelevant, or are you still very, very much committed to recording?
I don't know how to do anything else, so I could just be wasting my time. You never know. I mean, making records, it's a serving size that I understand. It's a great way to be able to kind of have a creative season and tie a ribbon around it and call it something. And I like that element of album making. Feels, I don't know, feels like you've completed something, and then you can assess and step back for a second before jumping in again. Then again, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of albums is anymore. I mean, it's for some new songs to play on the road. I mean, it's an interesting time because recordings find places. There's definitely a world for recordings to exist, as much or more than there's ever been. But the album itself might be anachronistic at this point. I think everyone's scratching their heads and trying to figure that out. And even at shows, it used to be, I think if you have something and you go out and sign it, you'll sell some copies and you'll sell some LPs just because people have a fond feeling for analog media. But most people who buy a CD tell you straight out that they don't even have anything to put it in anymore. They're only buying it so you sign it, and they're already streaming your album online. So
right, they're essentially buying a cardboard. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so we'll see what that means. And I mean, it's also interesting to note that Spotify has, no plan by which they ever become profitable. So I'm sure things in 5 years or so will evolve into something else. So, because they always do.
Well, I think the need for
someday somebody's going to have to figure out. There's a need for music, and people will find it in whatever way they can. And hopefully, there will be streaming models that that pay artists a better portion of things, and that also, hopefully they'll figure out a way to make it a viable business for everybody. And figure out a model that makes sense, and everyone's taken care of. Or they won't, and people will find music anyway.
That's very true. Well, Glenn, we're really thrilled that you're doing it and really looking forward to the session, and hopefully you guys are. So just quickly, who else is on the session? There's yourself and Dean.
It's Dean, bass player from Toad, Josh Dobbin, who's our touring drummer, great young drummer, and also Greg Lease, who I've done a lot of recording with, who's in the band WPA with. He's located himself a little more permanently in Santa Barbara these days, so snagged him on a day where he wasn't on tour down in LA.
That's fantastic. Well, Glenn, thank you very much indeed. As I said, we're looking forward to it, and I'm sure wonderful music will be made, and it'll be great for Alan and great for everybody involved. All righty. Take care then. Thank you very much.